Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
The whole Chicago Sky team is preparing for action as the preseason approaches. Hold on, however. Did you notice what the Sky coach did with Angel Reese? She's being moved away from the hoop and given a reduced role. Asking a lion to leave the jungle is equivalent to that. Rhea is being forced to step outside of her comfort zone after making a name for herself in the paint industry. The plan is shown by the statistics. They want her to take mid-range shots with that delayed release after she shot 39.1% from within 5 feet last season, which was the lowest percentage in the league.
And I wonder how her fans are going to feel about that. If she's further away from the basket, that doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of, or as many, I would believe, offensive rebound opportunities for one Angel Reese.
Could this drastic change be the catalyst for her career's salvation or the start of her demise? This change calls into question everything that made her renowned. Will she be able to adjust to this new environment, or will she fail miserably when pushed beyond her comfort zone?
She has no skill. She has energy. She has an attitude. She'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing.
Let's examine Angel Reese's performance close to the basket in more detail. Last season, she had a miserable 39.1% shooting percentage from within 5 feet of the hoop. These are shots that are directly towards the basket. She was unable to even hit 40% of the basketball looks with the greatest percentage.
Attempts, and we know from 5 foot in, she was the most inefficient field goal percentage shooter.
Change is unavoidable when figures like these speak louder than reputation. Among players that saw a lot of action, this was by far the poorest shooting percent in the WNBA. The best post players in the league usually convert these chances at rates between 60 and 70%. For instance, Wilson used her superb throw-pet move to create space against defenders last season, finishing 64% of her shots in the paint. The coaching team is being forced to reevaluate how they employ Reese since her stats are so much below average. You can feel the frustration as you watch replay. When she puts the ball beneath the hoop, her body language says a lot. She frequently gives the ball away to teammates even when she has an obvious route to score. This reluctance implies that she is well aware of her shortcomings in this vital aspect of her game.
And now she knows it to the point that even when she's on the basketball court, she's aware, like, this ain't really my thing. Let me get this hot potato out of my hand and to somebody that knows what they're doing.
What these numbers show is supported by the eye test. She doesn't have polished footwork in the post. Her touch around the rim varies greatly, and she lacks a go-to move. During a crucial possession in the fourth quarter against the Connecticut with just one defender to beat, Sun recollected the ball deep in the paint, but her clumsy hook shot missed, clearly disappointing the supporters. Examine this.
Runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind her.
Alongside Kennedy with Carter leaving the Chicago skyline, Reese's shortcomings will become more apparent. Carter was a dangerous scorer who diverted Reese's defensive attention. Opposing teams can concentrate more of their defensive strategy on stopping her without that cushion. Tyler Marsh, the team's head coach, is radically redefining her job. For a well-known rookie, that type of significant change doesn't occur unless the issues are severe and ongoing. Observe her as she grabs offensive rebounds throughout games. Before she scores, she frequently tries the same shot 3 or 4 times. Those frequent misses undermine offensive momentum and waste precious possessions. Reese pulled down 3 straight offensive rebounds in a stressful moment against New York, but he was unable to turn any of them into points, leaving teammates visibly frustrated.
Carter is no longer on the team, and new head coach Tyler Marsh is busy installing a different vision for Chicago.
These issues pertain to basic basketball skills that players usually acquire long before they can compete professionally, not only technique or strategy. The majority of WNBA post players have spent years honing their skills close to the hoop, creating counter moves, and learning how to finish through contact. However, would you believe that the Chicago Sky are going to try something that could totally change Angel Reese's career? Coach Tyler Marsh is moving her farther away from the hoop. a choice that has astonished basketball commentators. They are refocusing her on mid-range shooting rather than intensifying her post-skill development. It would be like expecting someone who has trouble with basic addition to solve complicated equations all of a sudden.
Offense. The Sky planned to use second-year power forward Angel Reese much differently than how she was deployed in her rookie season.
The issue is mostly with her shooting technique, which provide a significant barrier to this change, as scouts say Reese's release is extremely sluggish. In the WNBA, when defenders close out with lightning speed, it is painfully problematically sluggish. The defense has an advantage in a sprint because to that gradual release. Consider attempting a shot while the defender has an additional second to dispute it. That is the challenge Ree must overcome.
She's working on being able to shoot off dribble, and when the play call is for a catch and shoot. Yeah, but what does that mean? Because she's... look, we've all seen videos of her practicing. She's got a very, very slow as SERP release out there.
Teaching a sprinter to run a marathon is analogous to altering their shooting technique. It necessitates whole new muscle patterns and physical adjustments. Muscle memory that has been growing from childhood must be rewired. Although Ree's prior statistics indicate she hasn't even mastered finishing at the rim, professional shooters spend years honing their form, and she is being pushed to change it in a couple of months.
Poe wrote that Reese was increasing the use of off-ball cuts and relocating her position to constantly create balance and space in Marsh's offense. Chicago isn't planning on asking Reese to increase her three-point production this season. It says the Chicago Sky want her to take mid-range jumpers. Okay. However, Marsh wants her to add more versatility to her shot selection by hitting mid-range jumpers, 10 to 15 feet.
Rhea has shown confidence on this change in recent interviews, asserting that she can pick it up quickly and adjust to the demands of the squad. However, the discrepancy between her technical realism and confidence is evident to everyone who has watched her play. Her body language conveys an entirely different message about how prepared she is for this shift. The first actual test of this strategy will be the next preseason matchup with the Barcelona national team. Imagine this. Reese collects the ball at the elbow, facing her defender, and leaps for her maiden professional mid-range jump. All of her mid-range shots will be closely examined, evaluated, and used to support or refute Coach Marsh's approach. Will her shot even clear the defender's outstretched hand?
Chicago Sun-Times, Reese has yet to post up at training camp as she learns the new role for the offense. Oh, this should be very interesting. Quote, for Reese, that means adapting to a modified role that will tap into her full potential as a stretch four.
Ree has completely reinvented herself as a basketball player in this way. The majority of experts need years to become proficient in new abilities before adding them to their armory as main weapons. The whole basketball world is watching as Ree is expected to basically undergo this change overnight.
Poe wrote about her new role on offense. This doesn't mean Reese will never post up again, but Marsh understands if the Sky want to build an effective offense, they need to start building out space in the half court. I don't hate that.
Additionally, there is a possibly fatal adverse effect. It may take away Ree's fame. Her unwavering quest for offensive rebounds and putbacks produced the double-doubles that typified her brand. Her hallmark numbers may suffer if she is moved away from the hoop, since there will be less possibilities for offensive rebounds.
How easily Reese masters the offense will determine how successful the Sky are in 2025. The offense was a sore spot for the rookie, and how former head coach Teresa Weatherspoon let Carter delegate it did.
What happens if this experiment is unsuccessful? If her existing mechanics make mid-range shooting impossible and post-play is still ineffective? The Sky are putting all of their money on a change that basketball history indicates is unlikely to be successful in such a short amount of time.
If her offense ratchets up to the next level, the Sky could be scary. So, the question is, how is this going to work out?
However, how will this entire strategy work out? Well, there may be a bright side to this significant shift. Relocating Angel Ree away from the basket could prove to be the surprising fix that no one anticipated. Consider it. We just discussed how poor her inside game is, so why do you still have her play where she has the most trouble?
And I'm not going to lie to you. I actually feel a little bit better about her standing back further away from the basket, shooting jumpers. I do, actually.
Angel Reese has displayed this strange paradox as of right now. She is aware of her limits on the one hand. She occasionally misses open opportunities beneath the basket because of this, but she also keeps trying the same shots when she grabs offensive rebounds, missing several times before scoring. She frequently tries the same shot 4 times before it goes in, which is a waste of possessions and kills the team's momentum. Now consider the potential consequences of this position move for the other players on the team. Players like Camila Cardoso may use the paint that is freed up when Ree is moved away from the basket. They may be able to convert such inside opportunities much more frequently. Ree's several unsuccessful tries would clear the channel and improve the flow of the entire offense.
Now that I've seen how bad her inside game is, it's still going to be interesting because her claim to fame is what? Double-doubles. All right? That made her this hot commodity with...
However, this is where things start to become truly intriguing. The big issue is if Angel isn't camped down under the basket, what will happen to those iconic double-doubles that made her famous? Additionally, there is a difference between offensive and defensive rebounds. She may still dominate the defensive glass while playing a different role on offense. If she is better positioned to crash the boards from the outside, her rebounding stats might potentially increase.
If she's not as close to the basket on offense, which she shouldn't, it should clear out the paint and underneath the basket for Camila to be able to rebound. And we know she can hit layups. We've seen them. We've seen them over and over. I've seen plenty of videos of her hitting plenty of layups. That could be better for the offense. He may also be fully aware that a massive hole in Angel Reese's game is the fact that she will catch a rebound and then proceed to put up 4 shots to make 1.
Can you think of how Angel would change her reputation from a scoring danger to a rebounding machine who plays lock-on defense if she really embraced her new identity? Instead of attempting to coerce her into becoming a scoring option that she is obviously not prepared to be, the Sky might center their identity around her energy and defensive presence, since her toughness and motor are ideal for that role. Thus, we are currently seeing a turning point in Angel Reese's basketball career. The coaching team at Sky is radically rethinking the type of player she may develop into in this league. How she handles this difficulty might have a significant impact on her career. Will she adopt a changed role with more possibilities in the mid-range, or will she adopt Rodman's strategy and turn into a defensive specialist who controls the boards? On the Barcelona court, the true test begins right now. Adaptability is the key to success in the WNBA. Do you think Reese's career will be defined by learning the boards or rediscovering her shot? Tell us below.